Namaste. Up to now, we have discussed the BMCP first chapter, stones and bricks. So, in continuation that first chapter, we have to of go through the uh, tiles and sand. So now we'll discuss about tiles and sand. So let us look into the syllabus. First, we are going to be in our discussion. So in our syllabus, we have already completed up to bricks. Now tiles, types of tiles, roofing tiles, floor tiles, ceramic tiles, vitrified tiles, and marble-nite. Marble-nite is nothing but a glazed tiles or vitrified tile. And characteristic of a good tile, and characteristics of a good sand, and functions of sand, and bulking of sand. This is our syllabus what we have uh, in our curriculum. So let us concentrate, continue, try to complete these all. Right. So today I am concentrating to complete tiles and sand. So most probably I'll complete that. Uh, see, so today our objective is uh, common varieties of tiles and different purpose of tiles. And now the roofing tiles know about and understand about different tiles of floor tiles and wall tiles and characteristics of good tiles and definition of sand and types of sand and characteristics of sand. This is our aim for today. So I'll try to complete this. Right. And bulking of sand also. So coming to the clay products, what is clay products means clay molded as blocks to the required shape, size, and burnt, all burnt are called clay products like Mangalore tiles or roof paving tiles. Also, we can see different size and shape whatever required using a clay mold. So we are molding the tiles and burning in kiln up to the required temperature. Then we are using as a tiles, right? So some different combinations or what are the different types of tiles we'll look into here. Right. Example, bricks also, clay products, tiles, and tiles. Common varieties of tiles used for different purposes are roof tiles, Mangalore tiles. Roof tiles are Mangalore tiles generally. Floor tiles means whatever flooring done in our houses. Floor tiles may be ceramic tiles or vitrified tiles. So wall tiles we are using in bathrooms and wherever wash area coming or any elevation or front part of a building or puja room. So we are using the wall tiles to get a more decoration about the walls also, right? These are some common varieties of tiles. Let us see what are the common varieties of tiles are available in India. So let us see a small video. We can use tiles as a waterproofing element also, like, so if your wall is directly exposed to water, it may be deteriorate, some time of your painting may be deteriorate or your wall may be deteriorate, wall may be get damp. So if your tile is most probably tiles are waterproofing elements, so we can use, definitely we are using tiles in our bathrooms, uh, and even such whatever pattern you want and aesthetic point of view, we can make different tiles attached to the elevation of the walls, so on. So there are different types of tiles are available. So let us see a small video which is comprising of what is the tiles. That was a nice video regarding how tiles are made in. Yeah, that was a nice video which we have seen for manufacturing of tiles. So even ceramic tiles also manufactured in different way, but it was shown there. And let us see again. So Mangalore tiles first. So these are the roof tiles, and these are manufactured according to the IS standard 654 1972. So tiles originated from Mangalore, say Karnataka state, show a special shape with keys and projections. So classified as Class A and Class A, Mangalore tiles are made from suitable size of even texture and shall be well burnt, and they are laid on sloped roofs. Sloped roof purposes are hipped roof purpose or pitched roof purpose. So the Mangalore tiles, roof tiles are using. What are the properties of Mangalore tiles? Let us see. So water absorption shall not be more than 19% for class A, whereas we see in, as per IS standard of bricks, so 1077, I think so. So water absorption should not be more than 20% here, not more than 19%. So higher weight, the average weight of 6 tiles shall not be less than 20 Newton and not more than 30 Newton. This is the average weight of tiles in 20 numbers. Overlap. The minimum overlap shall be 60 mm lengthwise and 25 mm widthwise for each tile. This is a tolerance limit of a tile measurements. Right. The common sizes available of Mangalore tiles may be 410, 410 mm length, 420 and 425, 235, 3250, 8250 mm width, and thickness from 30 mm to 50 mm thickness. It is available in Mangalore tiles. So these are the some corrugation is what depth of curve, and this is a cross ear ventilation grooves, like another tile can come and sit here. These are the grooves, right? Like this is arrangement of two tiles lengthwise Mangalore tiles, right? See, this is a picture of Mangalore tile. So famous picture. Oh, what happened? So let us see which any video will open recording this. Okay, okay. See, this is a roof which is used by hipped roof. You can say a pitched roof or any roof tiles used as a Mangalore tiles. Requirements of floor tiles. These are the roof tiles, and they are now coming to floor tiles. Should be free from pebbles, grit, and other foreign material, as like the clay is taken from earth. So as like we taken for bricks manufacture, so same like that. So it should not absorb more than 24% of water by weight when the immersed in 24 hours. See, floor tiles are greater tolerance has given than the roof tiles, right? So fractured surface should be clean, dense, and at sharp edges. So should give ringing sound when truck struck or truck with each other. Like bricks also we are same testing of bricks, well whether it is well burnt or under burnt. We are uh, taking the two bricks and uh, touch each other. So if it is sound is stringing sound or ringing sound is coming, then it is well burnt. We are saying like that, right? So top surface uh, glazed, under surface unglazed, used for proper adhesion to subsurface. Means subsurface tile, tile should be attached to the subsurface. So, under surface maybe you can see can laid as a rough, so it can be easily adhered to the flooring. So top surface it should be glazed or vitrified, right? used where cleanliness is prime importance, and like floors of water closets, bathrooms, hospitals, etc. What I said. So we are using these floor tiles, right? And ceramic tiles. These tiles are used over floor and wall surfaces to give an attractive or durable, easy cleaning and relatively waterproof finish. Right. So they are machine made by pressing and firing clay and are available either glazed or unglazed. So ceramic tiles may be available in unglazed and glazed also. So the size of the tiles may be 120 mm square and 100 by 150 rectangular also. Ceramic tiles are available. Let us see the video also. The thickness of the tile is usually 8 mm. They are set against the surface of a cement mortar bed. Right? They are laid on the cement mortar bed. Next, vitrified tiles. So vitrified tiles are manufactured using white clay. So they may be like white cement. So which is the white clay is imported from Ukraine. Each tile is fired in a long roller hot kiln at a temperature of 1200 degree centigrade like bricks. Vitrified tiles have far superior properties compared to marble and granite. Natural granite vitrified tiles possesses much better. So, much vitrified tiles possess much better mechanical strength, scratch resistance, resistance to acids, alkalines, chemicals, resistance to staining, and compared to marble and natural granite. So granite is a very soft material and hence its abrasion resistance is approximately 3, whereas vitrified tiles have an abrasive resistance of 6 to 7 and MOH. So MOH is measurement of hardness. Right. Marble is a calcium carbonate which is strongly attacked by hydrochloric acid, which is commonly used. Marble laying is very uh, cumbersome, cumbersome and time consuming, whereas vitrified tiles may be laid in a matter of hours, right, and put to use after 45 years. So laying of vitrified tiles is very easy. Just you lay a CC mortar under the tile and join all the tiles with the use of white cement. So easily laying will be completed. It is very easy to lay, right? So let us see small video on different tiles. See here, this slide shows, video shows the difference between ceramic tiles and vitrified tiles, which is having in our syllabus also. And if you see the composition part of view, ceramic tiles are manufactured from the earth and clay, whereas vitrified tiles are manufactured from also clay. So like clay, silica, quartz, feldspar, different. Quartz and feldspar are byproducts from granite, right? So adding a different material compositions of materials in different quantity and adding together and making a tile. It's a artificial look. It is a artificial tile, which is a natural material. It is a natural look. It is there. And texture wise, ceramic tile is very rough. So here it is a smooth, or we can add different glazy also. You can, like a mirror also, we can manufacture vitrified tiles. You can see your face also, right? Glazing always has to be glazed, need not to be glazed. Durability less durable, these tiles are not having any more chemicals, only one material is added. So here it is more durable. Strength wise, these are ceramic tiles are not strong, so we are using like unwanted places. So here it is stronger, we are using for all purposes. Water absorption strength, less flexure, and breaking strength also. Here high flexure and high breaking strength here. And water absorption, so it is porous, absorbs water quickly. It is a non-porous material, which is absorb of water is negligible. And frost resistance is low here. Frost resistance is high here. No, so water resistance high means frost resistance also high, right? So resistance to scratches, no, low resistance here, more resistance to scratches. Staining resistance also low here. Staining is some marks of different colors like that. So here staining resistance is high. Okay, then continue. Yeah, slippery resistance, these are not slippery, this is a slippery. So I we can say that this is the only one disadvantages of vitrified tiles. Those are in slippery in nature. And the color resistance get fade off, no color resistance, no, it will not fade off. And the cost, these are cheaper. These vitrified tiles are obviously, these are expensive. Maintenance is not easy here. Maintenance is very easy, you can remove even single tile also, you can paste again, right? So installation, it is difficult. It is very easy. A tile is having grooves, and just painting, pasting with your white cement is easy. Size is smaller size. These are any size, right? Right. So these are the differences between the ceramic tiles and vitrified tiles. So these are the pictures, different sheets of tiles. See how these are the ceramic tiles made, different pasting, any color fading, anything we can do. So these are the different pictures, floor tiles, and the characteristics of a good tile. This is important as per our syllabus, right? Characteristic of a good stone, characteristic of a good brick, characteristics of a good building brick, or characteristics of a good tile, characteristics of a sand, like that. Questions are very important. We have to be concentrate on that. So these are the basic properties which we look into that material to check the quality wise, right? So characteristics of a good tile means it should be free from cracks, flaws, bends, or at least any defects. So it should be have uniform shape, uniform size, and uniform color, and it should be sound, ringing sound, and it should be hard, and it should be durable, right? You are the only participant in this meeting. Right. So uniform shape and size, sound and hard, durable. Well burnt gives ringing sound when struck with each other or with a light wooden hammer. Okay. Characteristics of good tiles. So fit in properly when placed in position, and it should be fit in properly, and it should have good resistance to dampness, or it should be resistance to water absorption, and it should be resistance to what atmospheric effects like weathering agencies like sun and rain season or snowfall, like should be resistance to the dampness and atmospheric effects. It can be with stones higher low temperatures. Stoneware is also is fired at a high temperature, is called a stoneware. Right. What is a glaze? Right. Glaze is a layer or coating of vitreous substance having the same nature of glass, which has been fired to fuse to a ceramic object. Right. So glaze is a layer or coating of a vitreous substance. Right. And equally same as glass. Right. Glazing means a glossy coat applied to pottery which protects it. Right? By dusting slurry composed of glaze minerals and water over the clay, right? You get glazing. So spraying, dipping, trailing, and brushing on clay, the glaze minerals gets fused at kiln temperature, forming a glass-like glaze on the articles, right? And various oxides and salts are added to impact colors. Common salt impact imports Common salts imparts glass-like glaze on the surface of articles due to sticking of salt vapors, right? So purpose of glazing, to get a good color, to decorate by giving glossy look, to make a strengthen, to make it waterproof, to make it chemically inert. Glaze is also used on functional stoneware and earthenware and porcelain also, right? So that is the purpose of glazing. Glazed tiles. The earthenware tiles whose top surface is glazed, but the underside of the tile is free from glaze. It is called as glazed tile. Glazed tiles are available in variety of colors, sizes, and shapes. The specification for the glazed tiles is given by IS 777 988. Right. So even like what you see in the floor tiles, so upper surface will be having a shining shape or vitrified shape, and the bottom surface will be rough. Like this here also, glazed tiles also having upper side top surface is glazed, underside need not to be glazed. Uses of glazed tiles for hygienic conditions in toilets we are using, and hospitals also we are using, railway stations, platforms, or walls cutting works we are for walls cutting works we are using tiles, glazed tiles. Bus stations, waiting rooms, and in hospitals or any official officers also, glazed tiles nowadays. Glazed tiles are used for the elevation of the building also. These are the different patterns of glazy tiles. So we can choose anything we want and we can go for uh, fixing, right? So porcelain, what is a porcelain? It is a name given to a high grade ceramic tile or having a white color, so very low water absorption. It has good transparency and hard glaze. It has got a vitrified structure, makes non-porous, right? These are called porous cups. See, porcelains, right? So which we are using for the keeping our pickle for long time, right? So heating raw materials generally includes clay in the porcelain is made by heating raw materials generally including uh, clay in the form of kaolin in a kiln to temperature between 200 to 1400 degrees centigrade. The rough strength and transient of porcelain arise mainly from the formation of glass and the mineral millet within the fired body at this high temperature. At the high temperature, the product reaches its final state of maturity in the presence of glaze. Right. So glaze is nothing but glitter. Right. The glaze penetrates right through the product. Right. Porcelain uses. They are uses for crockery like plates, dishes, etc. Electrical installations, bathroom fixtures. We are using these porcelains. Right. So far we are seeing the ceramic tile, floor tiles, roof tiles, vitrified tiles, ceramic tiles, and glazed tiles. Right. Now we look into uh, sand. What is a sand? Sand is a fine aggregate, so which we use for construction purpose, right? So if you technically explain what is the sand means, the material which passes from IS 4.75 mm sieve is called sand. The material which is retained on IS 4.75 mm sieve is called coarse aggregate, right? Fine aggregate and coarse aggregate, right? So sand is an inorganic material which is an aggregate of sharp and angular grains of silica SiO2. Types of sand. So natural sand, artificial sand. What is artificial sand? Let us look. Any answer? Artificial sand maybe the sand or dust we are getting from the our crushing plants, right? So natural sand we will get from our riverbed, seabed, etc. Right. What is a natural sand? See, natural sand is also three types. That is a river sand, pit sand, or sea sand. Right. River sand is getting from the river bank. Pit sand is getting from small channels or field channels like that in natural channels which is coming from the hills. And the sea sand is very hot sand we are getting from sea coast. Right. These are three types of natural sands we are available. Right. And see if you differentiate the three sands, right? See, river sand is obtained from beds and banks of a rivers, and pit sand is obtained from pits dug, right? Near the sandy soils, if you go for the sandy soils, you dug at any depth, you will get a sand only, right? So, like in if you see even desert also obtained from seashore. So, these river sand, these particles are fine, round, and polished. Pit sand particles consist of sharp angular grains free from salts, right? And sea sands, particularly, are very fine, round, and polished, right? So, and if you see, river sand is white color, globular shape, and a smaller size in size than the pit sand, and ready to use. It should be screened, washed. Why? Because we have to remove all the clay from the pit sand, right? So, if you see the sea sand, it attracts the moisture from the atmosphere and causes permanent dampness. Even fluorescence also sometimes attack. Right. So what is artificial sand? See, artificial sand is obtained by crushing stones, right, and gravels to powder. Means whatever we are getting rock dust from the uh, crushers, right? And the characteristics of good sand, right? Good sand should have coarse, angular, sharp, not rounded. You see, if it sand is rounded material of coarse aggregate or fine aggregate we use, we cannot get a workability to work it. You easily handle the concrete, right? It should be slippery. it may be slippery. So we should have coarse, angular, sharp and hard grains and free from clay and silt. Should be chemically inert, it should not be chemically affected, and it should be strong and durable effects, right? So the size of the grain passes through 4.75 mm, what I said, 4.75 mm ISU, and totally retained on 75 micron ISU is called sand. The fineness modulus of sand should be between 2 and 3. The test conducted and the first test which is conducted on sand is fineness modulus FM. So this is nothing but sieve analysis. Grains of sand should be free from dust. The grains must be free from organic and vegetable matter also. Functions of sand. Sand reduces the shrinkage of binding material, prevents the development of cracks in the mortar after drying, and it helps. Sand helps in hardening of fat, lime, and sand helps to make mortar a desirable grade. Right. So if you make the increase the sand quantity or decrease the cement quantity or same proportion of sand and cement, like that, if you altering cement and sand quantity, then you will get a desired grade. So to getting a desired grade, sand acting a major role, right? So it gives a functions. Sand gives strength and durability to the motor, and sand prevents the development of cracks in the motor of a small thickness of ion drying, and sand increases the volume of motor also, thus reducing the quantity of cement in motor. Well graded sand enhances the density of motor also, right? Very important concept is what is the bulking of sand. Increase in volume of sand due to presence of surface moisture is called bulking of sand. Means increase of volume of sand due to presence of moisture is called bulking of sand, right? So why it is a necessary bulking of sand? So while we are designing a concrete, we should take into account the bulking of sand, water absorption capacity of sand, water absorption capacity of coarse aggregate. Based on that, we are deciding the cement. What you say, water cement ratio. Correct. Let us see what is the bulking of sand. Yeah, this is the bulking of sand, much explained. Right. So percentage of bulking allowance to be made. So in preparing mortars and concrete, it is necessary to determine the percentage of bulking of sand. Accordingly, allowances should be made. Sorry. Sorry, the video was playing in the back end, so I stopped that video. Yeah. So it is necessary. The bulking of sand is shown by the following table. See, this is a table of the volume of bulking of sand for various moisture contents is given below. Bulking of sand for various moisture contents is as follows. Right. So moisture contents percentage by weight. See here, like that is taken, and 1%, 2%, 3%, 4%, 5%. Percentage of bulking is fine sand is 16%. Right, and this is 8% like that. This is a uh, table which you can see. If you take a 5% of mature content, so fine sand make more bulking, right, than the medium sand and coarse sand. So fine sand will increase more volume than the uh, medium and coarse sand, right? So like we can see more the interferences also you already explained in our video also. See some interferences from the chart. So when the sand is moistened, every particle of is get within the cover film surfaces, right? Moisture tends to keep particles 1 hour away from other, and it has been observed that the with the addition of 5% to 16% moisture, maybe volume of dry, the bulking of fine sand is greater than that the coarse sand, right? So these are the interference which is taken from the sand. This is the general sand general knowledge of sand about the sand. So some other materials also there. It is not in our syllabus. Just say added these are robo sand and manufacturing sand like that, right? Some small video I would like to play. Very, very nice. this is what we can assess the quality of sand, right? These are the some specifications of RoboSand, and this is a summary what we have studied today, and these are the important questions